Yes, we are live.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Tuesday Training. I'm David. I'm going to here to show you some new features as well as go through books, people, and as well as sales. So you can see here, we're going to first go through sequence number settings. That's a new feature that we have. And we're going to go through credit note and advance payment, then email setup, then bank rules. After that, we're going to go through Deskera Books overview, Deskera CRM overview, and Deskera People overview. So let's get started. Let me go and share my screen. Yep. Here we go. All right, so let's click on books. And then let's click on settings. And inside here, you'll notice something new. We have sequence number. A lot of people have been requesting that they have their own unique identifier for each quote, invoice, order, and bill. Currently, the same number is taken. So for example, the quote takes the same number as invoice, takes the same, and order takes the same number. Bill takes the same number as order. Invoice takes the same number as quote. So now we can separate sequence format by clicking this. And you can see now Q, SI, O, PI. And inside here, we can also add new, so you can create your own type of running number. So for example, maybe I want INV. And I can add here my own, for example, QUO. And I can do the separators or dashes, display digits, for example, maybe 6. Any separators here. And of course, I can leave it blank. And also we can do a suffix here as well. So I can save it. And you can see now it's been added inside here as well. And of course, we can do the same thing for order and bill. So let's confirm. Confirm. Next, let's go to sell. And let's create a quote. I can select my contact. And of course, my product. But the key thing is you can see here Q-000. This is the sequence number now. So it's all unique. Any outlets, remarks, add attached file, put memo. And let's just close and save. And then let's convert. Yeah, let's fulfill and convert. All right. So invoice has been successfully created. So we go here. We can see our quote here, Q-001, and you can see our invoice, INV-0600. So now they all have their unique sequence. All right, so next let's go to credit. Oh, we have a question. Okay, 1 second. Can we change the sequence after creating a few invoices with previous sequence? Can we change the sequence after creating? You mean change the previous invoices? Going forward, you can make the changes. So yes, going forward, you can change it. So for example, if I want to go back to settings, sequence number, I can go here and change it. Add new, create more. The subsequent ones will be updated. So for example, SI00, create and save. Now if I go back to cell and create an invoice, you can see it's now SI-00. And of course I can go here and select which one I want anyways. So it's up to you. And if I create a quote, let's just convert a quote, convert partially. Let's see. Save and close. You can see the SI is SI-000, so it's been updated in the system. All right, next let's go create a credit note and debit note. sorry. Let's go create a credit note, and let's create a advance payment under accounting. Actually, let me go look at cell and see who I should pick first. Let's go pick Tommy's Computers. All right, so let's go to accounting. Let's go to credit note, and let's create a credit note. Let's see. Tommy's Computers. I'm just going to add a random account. Put in the amount here. So I'm just going to put in $10, for example. I'm going to save. And next I'm going to go back to accounting, go to deposits, and I'm going to create a advance payment. Inside here, again, I'm going to select Tommy, deposit to my wonderful bank account. Let's see, maybe DBS Bank. Select my payment method, reference date, and a reference number, and account. Put in the amount, and save. So this is pretty much what you've been doing before. It's pretty standard. But you'll notice we also have an import option here for direct expense and prepayment. So that's something new. We can import direct expense and prepayment. And I want to show you here under Cell that if you click here, you'll no longer see credit note or prepayment here. So what you have to do, or advance payment, you have to click on Get Paid. And then inside here is where you can apply your advance payment and adjust for credit note here as well. And then, of course, you can input the amount. So, for example, I'm just going to put $10 for each. Next, oops, payment type, sorry. I'm going to select the bank transfer. Put in the date. Put in the reference. Next, and receive. So if you're missing where the credit note and the direct payment is, it's now inside the Get Paid screen. And I believe also the same thing with the debit note as well as prepayment is also under Buy in the Pay screen here. So that's a new update. So if you're wondering where the heck it went, that's where it went. All right, so next, we are going to go set up our email. A lot of people wanted their own SMTP, send out by your own email address in books, just like we have in CRM. So we've added email in here. So this is where we can put in the sender name, sender email address, username. Let me just go ahead and there we go. Put in my copy and paste my ridiculously long password in there. Put in the host name, smtp.gmail.com. Please take note, this will change based upon which type of email provider you're connecting to. Same with the port number. So just make sure that this is all set up correctly. Then we click Test Connection. Choose who we're sending the email test to and send it off. And it's sent off. I'll receive an email in my email box, and now I can save it. So now it's saved. So whenever I email using my invoice, it'll send from my email address. It will not be sent from Deskera. And the final thing I want to show you before we go to the overview is bank rules. So inside here, we have these new bank rules. I'm just going to go and select SG Bank just to show you no transactions. So what we're going to do here is I'm just going to quickly import a statement. So I'm going to click here. A bank rule is what happens to a bank transaction. So when you import a bank, either you import your bank statement or you're connected to your bank and the transactions come into your system. What should be done with them? Should we automatically create a transaction for them so they're automatically generated in the system? Do you want to confirm them, not confirm them? It determines what should be done. So we're just going to import a statement. I'm just going to go and find a wonderful file that I created. I'm just going to drag and drop it in here. I'm going to click Next. Check and make sure all the information looks correct. Click Next. And inside here, I have a choice: reject duplicate files or import the duplicate rows. And by the way, you don't have to use our template. If you have your own bank statement and it's an Excel file or it's a CSV file, you can just drag and drop it in. You can see, actually, let me go back for a second. I just want to show you something. So because some statements, they may have debit and credit. So let me go back and import again and just show you that. All right. Let me drag and drop. The key thing is sometimes your bank statement has credit or debit and has the amount in one line, but sometimes it doesn't. So we have two column. Of course, my template does not have two columns, but I just want to show you. Inside here under two columns, you can then select the debit and credit account. So that'll be on top of your screen. So which one column is credit, which column is debit for your importing. For our template, it's just a one column. So that's the key thing for us. But if you have two columns, click here. All right. Now reject the duplicates or import the duplicate rows, up to you. But I find sometimes transactions from your bank statement may be the same. It's recurring over and over again. So you may not want to, reject the duplicates. It's your bank statement. So if it's duplicate, it's there for a reason, right? So I usually click, include duplicates, submit. And then hopefully everything will be imported. Yep, file has been imported. Excellent. Now we're going to click on SG Bank, and we should see all our transactions here, and you can see them all here. All right, time to add a rule. So now I'm going to add a rule, and I'm putting the name. So for an example, I'm going to call this masks. And I can determine if it's a credit or debit and which bank it goes to. So for example, is this for all my banks? So I can say all. Is it specifically for my SG bank? And let me actually, I think debit. And I can say here, what is it? Does the payee contains, for example, masks? Then what should be the applied values? So for example, I have a wonderful customer called, let's see, Stan's Max, for example, or actually, let me add a new contact in here. So you can see, even if I want to apply a rule, I can't, maybe this contact's not there and I don't want to go out. Okay, let me go change here to Jim Masks. Yep, so Jim's Masks, I can fill in the information and look at all the accounting. I can check the address, save. So I just created Jim's Masks here. I can then put in the account. For example, maybe I just want to do my test account. There it is. Any tax components? So for example, let's see. Maybe TX. Then I can select the payment method. Is it going to be a bank transfer? What the reference number should be? Transaction type, prepayment, or a direct expense. I'm going to select direct expense. Any memo. And this is your options: review and create. So I have to review each one before it's created, or auto create. It's auto created automatically. So you have to choose how you want to do it. So I'm going to go here and click review and create for now. View matching. So I'm going to see here if anything matches, and I see 2 matches here for Jim's Masks. And I'm going to save the rule. So the bank rule has been added successfully. All right, so I'm going to add another rule, and then we're going to check and see what happens. Next one, I'm going to call it Austin, A-U-S-T-I-N, Austin. And again, I'm going to select payee. Contains Austin, for example. And I'm going to add a new contact in here. And I'm going to call this Austin, let's see. Austin Ideas. Ideas. I think that's right. Save. So after I save that, again, I can choose all the setup. But the reason why I'm just showing payee here as Austin is that I have multiple Austins in my file. So the key thing is that maybe you don't have a payee. Maybe your payee has multiple, for example. So you want it, so I'm going to say auto create here. View and match transactions. But you'll see here, there are multiple Austins, for example. And I see, for example, Austin 238. I see Austin 1928. How do I know which one is Austin Ideas and which one is something else? So I can go back here, and maybe I want to add another condition. And I want the description to contain idea, for example. And then I can view matching again. And you can see it changed. All the other ones that were there are now gone. And you can see Austin Ideas are all showing here under the reference. And I can save it. So this is just to give you an idea of what you can do. Maybe if the payee is blank and you need to actually base it upon the description, then you can do that. If not, then you can figure out other rules in order to figure out how to have it created. All right, so let's click on the bank. Let's click on SG Bank. And let's go down here and see. So we already have, for example, you see the Austin Ideas? They're already matched. So I told it to auto create automatically once, what's it called? It picks up any of this criteria and how to identify it, and it's done it. Now let's go to, for example, let's change this to 50, so that way I can see them all. Let's go find masks. All right. There's Jim's masks. So you can see it's not matched here because my rule stated that I wanted it created at that time. So I can click on it, and you can see it says create deposit. And you can see here, advance payment, payment date, bank transfer. The information has come up. For example, just put in here. So I don't have to type in all the data again. It's populated. And then I can click create. So it's up to you. Do you want to automatically create it? Do you want to verify every time so you can determine this? Account type. Test. Yep. There we go. Great. All right, so that's been created. Also in here, if you have transactions that already exist, you can match them here. As you can see, find invoice to match, find deposit to match. So you can actually match to the Deskera transactions if they're already been created in the system. Now let's go back to bank. And let's click on SG Bank and click on reconcile. And you can see all these transactions are already matched, and I can confirm and start saving and reconciling my account. All right, so I think we covered all the new stuff in the system. Any questions before we do an overview of books? All right, so let's go do an overview. All right. So inside here's the dashboard. You can see now we have things to do, like connect to a bank, complete your organization profile, set up custom fields, So your van setup, you can determine it. If you're annoyed by it, you click the X button and it should go away. Then you just have to do the things to do. Then I can see the invoice, age receivable. A lot over 90 days. That's not good. Any bills for the last 30 days? See, I haven't been buying anything. So let me go last year. You can see the information here. My bank account, my net cash flow, and my profit and loss has been, ooh, that's not good. So I can see it all at a glance and I can determine what I need to do next. Now we're just going to go to settings. Inside here, we have our organization profile. I can click edit. If I want to add an image, I can just click add image and then select the image and it'll appear on the screen. We also have the name, excuse me, name, tax registry, and the date format. So if you're in month, day, year, and you don't know why, and you want to get out of it, this is where you go. You can go day, month, year, or year, month, day. You know, you can decide what you want. Next, let's go to finance. Inside here, you have your financial start date, your book beginning date, your reporting currency. This is where you can enable multi-currency, and number of decimal places. Please take note, you can go up, so you can see all my transactions has 4, but you cannot go back down. So if you went to 4, you cannot go back to 3 or 2. So please take note, if you go up, you cannot go back down. If you increase the number of decimal places, you cannot decrease later on. This is your number format. So, you know, based upon which country you're in, you may want to change it accordingly. Compliance. So this is based upon which country you've selected for your tax registry. Excuse me. So, for example, I selected Singapore. So you see UEN, GST. This is where I can opt in for e-invoicing, put in the PEPO ID, vendor ID, and we have the registration instructions here. Download the authorization letter, print the letter on company letterhead, fill in the send us this information to e-invoicing@deskera.sg. We'll submit the letter to PEPO and send you the PEPO ID. You can update your PEPO ID in your organization settings. Of course, that's why we're here. And then your address. So this is where you can input your address, but if you have more than one address, you can just click your add address. And then you can just type it in, for example, 39 Robinson Road, Singapore. Oh, wow, like Palm Spring Ford. Okay, but here we go, 39 Robinson Road. You see Singapore, the postal code's updated. I can set this in my current billing address or my shipping address, and I can update. Yes. And everything's updated. You should be able to see it all here. Let's go to settings. Let's go to currency. So we enabled multi-currency, and we can see all our currencies here. Wow, how many did I enable? Did I enable all of them? Holy cow, I did. So, for example, if you accidentally enabled all of your currencies, and you think this is quite crazy, you can click the button here and click deactivate. So, for example, 49. It's just, okay, let's see, did I deactivate all of them? Almost all of them, okay. And if I just want to deactivate the rest, I can look at here and just click on the eye icon to deactivate. I can select the ones I want. But usually when you click on the choose the multi-currency, you don't usually select all. You select 1 or 2. But in this case, I think I selected all. So you see all selected. So if you want all selected, you also can do that. But I'm just going to deactivate all of them. And then I'm going to reactivate some. So for example, let's say I want United States dollars, maybe United Kingdom pound sterling, activate. Maybe I want Australian dollars. And you can see I'm just typing in and searching for what I want and activating them. And after I've activated them, I can then go change the rate. You can also click on the eye icon if you want to deactivate. So for example, or activate the currency. For example, activate Thai baht. And if I want to change the rate, I can click change rate here. I can see the Thai baht rate, the SG rate, and I can actually update it directly on the screen and save. I can also view rates for deactivated currencies. So I can see the exchange rate, effective date, and the timestamp. Next, let's go to settings. And let's go to taxes. So based upon which country you're in, you'll be able to see your different types of taxes. And your standard rate is here as well. And if they're already used, you cannot delete them, as you can see. So inside here, I can see all the standard tax rates in Singapore. So again, it's based upon your statutory compliance. Different rates will change. Now, if I want to group taxes together, I can go here, add a new tax, or add a tax group. So for example, let me just put in tax group. I can put in the tax code. Choose sales, purchase, or both. Put in the component. All right, maybe DS7. And maybe, let's see, OS 0. Again, just select which ones that you required. Then you can determine, is it pre-tax amount or after-tax amount? So this tax is applied before tax or after tax. And then you can save it. So it depends on which country you're in. This may or may not be required. So you have to determine. Next, let's click on settings. This is where you can input your payment terms, your unit of measurement, and let's go to custom fields. Inside here, you can create your different custom fields. So it all depends on what type of company you're in. If you have multiple outlets, maybe you want to create a different type of, or a multi-select drop-down menu for multiple outlets. Maybe I want a text box for contact name, contact phone number, or maybe I want number field because I want to have the number of employees, or maybe a specific type of number that I want to show that helps me with the customer. For example, maybe if I sell clothes, maybe I want waist size, height size, and all his dimensions. So that way, when I see the customer, I don't have to measure him every time, or maybe just do small adjustments to make his clothes. You can just order online. So it all depends on what type of business you're in. I'm just going to here put in contact name. I'm going to put the max length, maybe 100. Put a default value. Next, we have availability. So for example, maybe I want this in my contacts, invoice and bills, quotation, and purchase order. But you can also add them to products, accounts, journal, and expenses, deposits, debit note, and credit note. So these are where you can add in your custom fields. I'm just going to click create. And now it's been created. Also inside here, we have our document template. We have our audit log, import log. So audit log shows you what's going on in the system, what people are doing. Import log, if you import your contacts, your products, your chart of accounts, your bank statement, and something doesn't look right, you can go here and check. Blue means original. Green means this is your file that's imported. And if you see something red, let me see, do I have a red file here? 100. Let's take a look. Yep, here's some red. If you see the red, these are your rejected files. So you can download and see which of your rows have been rejected. We, of course, have our bulk import. So this is if you want to import using QuickBooks or Xero. So you connect through this. We just did our email connection, and we did our sequence number earlier on today. All right. Now let's go to, oh, we got a question? All right, 1 second. Let's see. Once we set up SMTP, if client replies to the invoice email, does it show in the email reply somewhere within Deskera? Not for books. It will show in your CRM. So if you create an email in your CRM for deals or for your contacts and send it from there, once they reply, you'll receive the email back, but not in books. Also, please confirm if we can use old Stripe account in books. Previously weren't allowed. You mean not create Stripe account. Okay, so if you go currently, based on my understanding, to banks, and you click on the three dots, and you click connect to Stripe, they inside here, unless they've changed it, will ask you to create a new Stripe account. So you have to put in all your information and you'll have to create. But if you want to connect to Stripe using your old account, then you have to go to the App Store here and then click on Stripe Connect. Open it on up. And then you can connect inside here. That's odd. All right. So inside here, you click on it, you open it up, and then you're able to connect to your old Stripe account. All right. Any other questions? Nope. All right. Let's go on. Let's go to the master. So let's go to contacts. So inside here, we have our import option, invoice reminders. So inside here, you can go and see your invoice reminders before due date, after due date. And you can create a new contact in here. Put the name, email address, accounting address. We showed you this when we were creating the bank reconciliation. We have our products. Inside here, let's create a new product. So just quickly, we have tracked, non-tracked, and bill of materials. A non-tracked product, you can consider it like a service. You consider it like aircon repair, electrician, like what my sister does. She's a certified public accountant and she does auditing. So they charge by hours. It's not like you can put their good old time on a shelf and keep it and store it for eternity. So you actually have to use it or lose it. So that's like non-tracked products. Or it could be a product that you just are buying and you don't want to keep track of. For example, those wonderful mugs with your company logo on them that you give out to all your salespeople. Once you run low, you buy more, but you don't want to keep track how many you have. What's it called? Paper, you're printing paper, stuff like that. We have tracked products. So you consider this like apples, oranges, laptops, phones, medical equipment, medical supplies, all the stuff that you purchase from somebody and that you have. And just to show you here under inventory, if it's a tracked product, we can enable advanced tracking. So we have batch tracking, we have serial number tracking. So batch tracking, this is a group of products that are created and they usually have, they're all under one number. So you can think of it like some food products, they all have the same batch, they're all sent out. And why is this important? For example, if there's a recall. So depending on your country, you know, for example, I know in the US, there's wonderful news articles. This food has been recalled. My tater tots, go into the fridge, check it. Isn't this the one that's been recalled with salmonella? So you have to make sure it's all good and you're not serving food or selling food that's poisonous. Others is medical equipment, you know, maybe not medical, medicines, drugs. What's it called? We have serial numbers. So serial numbers like your laptop, your wonderful camera, any of those items. And finally, we have, of course, our bill of materials. So these are assembly products. One of my favorite examples is chicken soup. You have your noodles, your chicken broth, your chicken, your vegetables, and you combine them all together to make chicken soup. You also have probably additional costs for your cooking, heating, and all sorts of other stuff. Others can be like packages. So you can think of it like multiple items combined together into a single package. Maybe it's a Chinese New Year package. Maybe it's a package to Brazil where you can sit on the beach and hotels and airline tickets. So it all depends on what type of packages you want to create. So it's up to you. You can think about what you want. And what you do is you go to bill of material and you can select your components here. For example, I'm just going to select the computer. I'm going to select the mouse. And the cost is based upon the cost of the products, so the computer and the mouse. And I can do any additional cost, for example, assembly or packaging. I can put in the price here. And I can save it. Okay, earlier we went through the sales process. So I just want to go quickly and show you some information in the sales. So inside here under invoice, let me click on the three dots. I just want to show you fulfillment. Oops, sorry. I just want to show you fulfillment. Inside here, we have 3 different methods. We have direct fulfillment, is where you just pick up your wonderful location. So inside here, I just select my wonderful warehouse, and I select the require or the committing quantity, stock left, fulfillment date, and I can fulfill. The other 2 methods we have is pick, pack, ship, where you pick the goods, pack it, and ship it. And we have drop ship. So what is drop ship? Drop ship means a customer places an order with me. I then place that order with a vendor, and the vendor sends directly to the customer. I never have it physically in my inventory. So for example, the customer orders a watch from me. I order the watch to the vendor sends directly to my customer. And once my customer receives it, it's considered fulfilled. All right, let's just quickly get paid. So for example, I just click and get paid here. I can select which I want to deposit to. So I can see all my different banks. And based upon the bank, I can select. So I can select which bank I want. The key thing here is that under the currencies, I can change it. So for example, if I want to change it to USD, AUD, or THB, or Thai baht, my bank changes. So please take note, if I want to receive payment in USD, I have to receive it into a USD bank. If I'm receiving payment from SGD, I'll receive it into an SGD bank. So please take note. For example, DBS, let's select the payment type, choose the date, reference number. Also, I'm able to do partial. That's actually something else I should mention. So if I want to do a partial, I just go up here and click on it, and I can change the amount here. So click next and receive it. So I received, and then I can print it and close. All right, so I just want to show you also our document designer template. So let me just click on here. And let me click on more. Oops, sorry, more. And then I can click on design here. And this is where you can set up your document template. So I can put in my logo, I can hide and change my billing to, my ship to. For example, maybe I'm not shipping anything, I'm dealing with services, so nothing gets shipped. I can change my currency, change my decimal points here, format. So I can customize it to how I want to make it look. And we have so many pre-designed templates, as you can see. And then I can save it. Now, the key thing I want you to take a note of is, let me just save this template. Save as, what's it called? Template 1. And if I want to save a new template, like for example, apples, I can go save template again and save as template 2. And I can click here and I can see my template 1, template 2 here. So that way I can choose which one I'm modifying. And when I want to email, I can click here. And then I can select my email template. So for example, you see my buttons template here. I can select which one I want, buttons. And this one's my document template, and this is my Word template. So if I want to use my document template, I select here. If I want to use my Word template, I select there. So it's up to you how you want to do it. All right, so now I just want to quickly show accounting, just what's in accounting, and then I'll show you in reports, and then we'll go on to CRM. So just to show you, we have chart of accounts, journal entries, your opening balance. So this is everything before your book beginning date. You have to update debit note, credit note, our expense deposit, and our financial year closing. So if you want to set up your financial year closing, this is where you can do it. Next, let's go to reports. So we can see our financial reports, profit and loss balance sheet, cash flow statement, all the standard reports. Now, this is the key thing, is that your company tax compliance reports. So depending on your country you select here, you'll see either what reports are required. So for example, under Singapore, you see your GST reports, but under different countries, you'll see different reports here. We have all our purchase reports here that you want, like age payable, We can see our stock availability by warehouse, our stock aging report, and we can see all our sales reports here, including age receivable. Who owes you money and how long? So it's important to check up on them. All right, let's click next. And let's go to sales. All right. Okay. All right. Any other questions? Oh, okay. We got a question. Since we're a digital agency, can we hide warehouse, pick, pack, ship? Yes, of course you can. So let me go back here to books. Let me go to settings. Go to modules. Visibility, pick, pack, ship services, multiple warehouse. If I don't want to see it, I just turn it off and it's hidden. Also, maybe the columns and fields that you require are not what you want. So just to quickly show and sell, create new invoice. So you can see pick, pack, ship module hidden from the menu. You can see after I refresh it, it should be gone. Let's go here to manage though. I just want to show you here. Yes. Inside here, you can customize your labels. So for example, you may not have products, you may have services, you can do other. You can change the description to notes, other. You can change the quantity to an other thing. You can write your own what you want here. I'll pass. Sorry. Also, if you don't want to show Peppo ID, you just click the checkbox here and it'll be disabled. But for my demo purposes, I have to leave that on forever. So for UOM, I can type in whatever I want here. For example, maybe I want it to be hours. So you can change it here to whatever you'd like. So I'm just showing you that based upon the services. So hopefully that answered your question. In template, I want a total without GST amount line-wise. I want a total without GST amount line-wise. All right, you're referring to design. All right, 1 second. Let's go to more. Let's go back to design. And then let's click on the pencil icon. So you can see here I can enable, disable tax, for example. Save. You can see tax is now gone. So you have to choose on how you want to hide and show it. For example, my subtotal is 1200, but my tax is hidden, so it shows 1284. So I'm not sure if it will confuse somebody, but for example, if I want to hide the fields, I can hide the fields here, and it's hidden. Does that answer your question? Okay, let's see. How to track serial number sold and available and quantity remaining in stock products. So if you go to our wonderful, glorious products, and let me find a batch-wise product. Let's see. Ooh, no stock. Let's see. Batch 5. Okay. So I can see all the information here. Let's see. Where's my current batch? Inventory tracked. Here we go. I can see my batch number here, manufacture date, expiry date, batch in quantity, quantity in batch, acquired cost. Inside here, I can edit it and see the information here. But if you need more information, we also have our reports, but you can also go to, depending on what type of plan you have, you can go to our report builder. I can click here, new report, add charts. Then I can go here to, let's see, batch-wise stock tracking. name, description, batch, expiry date, batch size fulfilled, acquired cost. And I can just apply it here. So I can see, let's expand the batch, expiry date, batch size fulfilled. So I can see 5 has been fulfilled. Acquiring cost is 100. Is it active, true or not? So you can select on which one you'd like here and activate. But again, this is in the report builder. All right. Any further questions before we go to CRM, or we're all good? All right. Hopefully I answered all your questions. All right. Okay, let's go to CRM. So inside here, we have the dashboard, so I can see the contact report. So I can see for the past 6 months, 10 contacts, any upcoming activities, deal stage 1, deal stage lost. So I can see the past 6 months, campaigns, and any tickets. Just quickly under settings. This is where you have your custom fields, your team settings. So this determines your team view. Email. So this is where you can connect your email to the system. Once you connect it, so this is where you connect the email to the system. You can put in the sender name. So for example, maybe David. Username. Oops, this one, but I'm going to delete the demo. Then I'm just going to input my password. And then I can just put in the server name. So for example, imap.gmail.com. I believe it's 993 if my memory serves correctly, smtp.gmail.com. My port 587. Allow non-secure save. All right, so probably I put in the wrong one for the 993. Maybe it's a 93. So again, just make sure you put in the proper port and then save. It should automatically go through. We have our integration settings here, so you can integrate through Microsoft 365, Google Tag Manager, and webhooks. So if you want to integrate, this is where you go. Guide, so this is where you can create your help center. So you put in your domain, and then you're able to connect on up. Then you put your hero image, your logo, your favicon. Under settings, this is where you can activate it, and you can hide the Power by Deskera. This is tickets, so this is where you can connect your support mail tickets to. Audit trail preferences, your import log, your contact sync. So, but these are key if you want your services, your guide, and your tickets, because you have to connect your email support tickets. Next, let's go to marketing. So quickly, we can create our segments, create our email templates, and our forms here. We can create 2 types of forms. We can create our contact form and our deal form. Inside campaigns, we can create our campaigns here. And this is where you're going to be able to see your campaign name, category, publish date, status, and did anyone receive it. Just quickly inside here, you can add your campaign name. Any subject. Any uncategorized. For example, maybe computer sales, but you can always add more. You can select your segments here. You can always add a new segment. You can select your template. So I'm just going to use a predefined template. And it's going to load up here. Just save and continue. And I just want to click next. And inside here, we have 2 options. So this is the key thing I want to show you. We have Deskera email services where you send from Deskera, or you have use my own. So again, just like before, sender name, email address, username, password, server port, allow non-secure certificates. You fill in all this data, you save, and then you can send using your own email. And please take note, you can add up to 5 accounts. I'm just going to use Deskera email services. I'm going to put in my sender name, email address. And if it's your first time selecting this, it'll ask you to verify. I can also use a different reply message. I can schedule for later. So for example, maybe I want to schedule it for 5 o'clock. set, and schedule, and go back to the campaign. I can see it's all scheduled. It'll send out. Once it's sent out and the information shows, it'll generate a report. I can see, for example, it's been open, clicked, bounced, anyone's unsubscribed, and the total open. So I can see the information here. Like Jimmy Buttons, he liked to open it 3 times. Other people didn't, which is quite sad. So you can see the information here accordingly. Under services, we have our guides. So this is where you're going to create your sections and your articles. So for example, I can see my announcements, my FAQs. I can add another sections here. I can click on my articles and I can see all my different articles here. See what's published, what's in draft. I can click on the 3 dots and I can edit. And I can see it. Does it look good? Everything looks fine. Then I can go submit. Now, the key thing I want to show you here is to click this drop down here. You click on this arrow. This arrow will allow you to publish and unpublish. If you do not click on this button, you just click on save, it'll just save it. So this is where you can publish it. Under support, this is where you can see all your support tickets and you can manage your support tickets. You can also go here and change your views. So for example, if I want to add my own view, for example, I want conditions like the assignee is equal to, for example, David Williams. So this is a way I can break it up and see my different Surface tickets differently. So if you have this, this is how you can set it up. You can also see your tickets under support, and the tickets will come in after you've connected it to an email. Okay, let's go back to let's go to contacts quickly, then deals, and then we'll move on to people. So inside here, I just want to mention this is where you can see all your contacts. If you connected it to 365, you can see here this 365 icon here. That means it's been pulled in from 365, Microsoft 365. Also, if I want to change the columns, I can click here and I can change what I want to see. So you can customize your view to how you want to see it. So for example, if I want something like, last time updated priority, I can go do that here as well. And I can just drag and drop the fields to however I want to see it. So for example, I want to see label up front. I can just move the label up front and save it. And then the label will move. As you can see, name, label. Inside deals, this is where you can create a deal. So I'll create here. I can put in the deal name, the owner, put in the deal value. So for example, let me select the organization name. Let's see, which organization should I select? Sorry. Button Electronics, for example. Yeah, Button Electronics. I can see the contact person's been automatically selected. I can save it. Now if I drill in, I can see the information here. I can connect my email. So as mentioned earlier, when I connect my email and I send an email from my deals, when the customer replies to that email, it should also be shown in here as well. But that only occurs if I email from this deal or this contact, from the email or the contact. Any activities, so I can create activities, see any notes, see the log. Then after that, I can just drag and drop it to wherever I like. And if I want to close won or close loss, I can just drag or drop it, or I can drill inside and click won or loss. So it's up to you. We also have list view here, and I can see all the open, won, and lost deals as well. All right, any questions on sales before we go to people? There is? Okay. What is the limit on the number of emails we can send with one campaign? A few weeks ago on Facebook, we got a sneak peek of the update UI on CRM. May I know when it's coming? All right. Karthik, do you happen to know when the new UI for CRM is showing up? As for the email, if you're referring to your own email, meaning you connected it using your email, then you can have as many as you'd like, because that's based on your email account. But again, within reason. Now, if I go to here, my subscriptions, if I remember correctly, I click on here, let's see. Nope. It actually says in here, if I remember correctly, change plan. Let's see. Essential, professional. Oh, this is book. Sorry, CRM. All right. Actually, I can't remember on the top of my head how many what's it called emails you can send out from CRM. All right. So sorry about that. What's the limit for Deskera? Sorry, I can't remember. But hopefully maybe Karthik or somebody in the chat can help you out on that. All right, so let's go on to Deskera people. So inside here, it's all, again, based on your statutory compliance. Which country is selected, the information will change accordingly. So let's just go to employees, employee list. I can see all my employees here. And I recommend using to import your employees. So if you have a file already and all the information is there, you just drag and drop it into here. If you don't, you can download our sample file and then fill it out and then put it and download it and drop it in here. Because creating one by one may be very tedious. Now, if I create an employee here, I can put the first name. John. Put in the email address. So these are all mandatory fields. For example, you have to put in email address. Designation. Excuse me. Date of birth. And then you can fill in any other information that you feel is required. Join of dating, date of joining, contact deals. And now this is something new. We have compensation details, and you can set the effective date. For example, maybe June 1st, full-time basic salary, $3,000. And then you can decide, is it per year, which would be very depressing, per month, or per hour? Insane. So you can decide on how you wish to select it. You can select the default here. So for example, if you want to put a default currency, maybe 2,000 or 3,000 here, you can put that here as well. So that's up to you and how you want to do it. You can select your payment method. And based upon your system, that may affect your gyro. For example, in Singapore, your gyro amount. This is where you can assign your components. And here's all your statutory compliance. So for example, if you're in Singapore, then you can select your Singapore citizen, permanent resident, foreign employee, for an S-Pass work permit. You can select which ones, and based upon that, the information changes. So you can see the information changes accordingly. So you can determine what you want to select. You can put in the NRIC number, nationality. Well, if you're a permanent resident and you're Singaporean, then you should probably be a Singapore citizen. This is your race. This is for your self-help group that's automatically selected, and you can select your CPF, and then you can save it. Just to let you know, under our company settings, this is where you can put in your offboarding checklist and your CPF account. IRAS, if you have any components, this is where you can select where they should show up in your IR8A. Your bank account, this is for your gyro. If you're in Singapore, this is where you set up your bank account for gyro. Payslip Designer, this is where you can design and edit your payslip. Pay schedule, this is where you can create your multiple pay schedules, bi-weekly, twice per month, weekly, or monthly. And under payroll, under pay run, this is where you can generate and create your pay run. And based upon the information, it should automatically calculate your CPF, CDA, CPF, SDL, and other statutory requirement fields based upon which country you're in. So for example, this is Singapore, but if you're in the US or other countries, other information will appear here. Also, we have our contractor pay run. So if you want to create one, it's here. Again, your gyro is here as well. And just so you know, for people in Singapore, you have to click on this wonderful credit card. Looks like a credit card. Then you select your bank, batch, account, that, and then you can generate the gyro file here. So next, let's go to eLeave. Or, okay, eLeave. So inside here, I can see my annual leave, casual leave, childcare leave, and just leave. Just leave is a leave I created. And just to show you in settings, leave management, this is where you can create your new leave type. So just quickly, you can put your leave name, days per year, leave prorate, leave accrual on, first day of the year, last day of the year, any of the leave is carried forward. You can select the color. You can select the gender. So think of it as maternity or paternity leave. Marital status, is it single, married, separated, divorced, or widowed? You can do allow unpaid leave. And we also have year-based service. So number of years of service range, number of leaves, and carried forward. You can also do your leave adjustment, yearly holidays. So you can create them. And you can decide if they're recurring or not recurring. So you can take this, for example, like in Singapore, we have National Day. And in the US, we have 4th of July. It reoccurs on the same day every year. But you can also look at Chinese New Year. It changes every year based upon, the calendar. So it cannot recur. So you can decide on that. Then, of course, we have our user management. So this is where you can look at all your user information. You can see which teams they're on. So who's the team, who's approving it. So that's the key thing. This is your groups, who's approving each one. And your accompanying settings here, and your application and your requests are over here as well. And you can always create a new leave application. All right, expenses. So inside here is where you can create your new expenses. We have our admin settings. So this is where you can create your different types of groups. Select your categories that you want to apply it to. And then you can click here, new claim, and create a claim here. Please take note, we also have claims, leave, and your payroll on the mobile phone. So if you need to see your payslip, your employee needs to see the payslip, you use the mobile phone, the mobile app. He can see his payslip. He can apply for leave and claim expenses right on his mobile phone. He doesn't have to really log in here. All right. So I think I did a quick look at books, sales, and people. Sales, which we also like to call CRM. Is there any questions? Or did I confuse you? Or, oh, okay, let's see. Employees to only see specific contacts assigned to him, but not other contacts. We have something called teams. So we have private, we have teams, and we have everyone. So it's all based upon your authorization. So if I go to contacts, or I go to if I go to deals as well, if I click on here, you can see the visibility. So if I change the visibility, you have 3 choices. Private, only owner and sub-owner can see it. Team, only the team can see it, or everyone can see it. Under settings is where you create your teams. You have to be part of the team in order to be considered that group. Of course, admin does not apply. Admin can see everything. So these are the groups where you can create it. All right, so next one. Can we reject leave claim with reasons? So in eLeave, I can see the request here. With reasons. I'm not sure if with reasons, but inside here, for example, I can approve or reject here with the checkbox or the red X. But I do not believe, let's see, let me reject and see if it allows me to do a reason. I don't think so, though. Reject. Because David Williams, you do not need mental health. All right, so reject leave. Yeah, but I don't believe so. Okay, now it's been rejected. You can see it doesn't have any remarks. It just rejects. So currently, no remarks, but I'll feedback that to the team. and let them know. All right. Also claims. Also, I think with claims as well, there are no reasons. So we'll also feedback that to the team. Let me just check, but I don't believe so. Let's see. Pending. Okay, let's go to review now. I believe it's just the same thing as before. Anything to review, manage, approved. Of course, June 1st. This would be ancient claims. Okay, let's go back. Yep, to 31st. Yes, here we go. So submitted. Let's go to admin. 5 to review. Again, it's just a red X or a green checkbox. So you can see it's just rejected. It's not. If I click here, I can see this. Oops. So if I click on the 3 dots, I can duplicate and print, but the red thing is rejected. If I drill in, I can just see the information. I can download the receipt, but I really cannot put any remarks there. So that's something we'll also feed back to the team. All right. Anything else? Okay. All right, let's see. You can schedule multiple such campaigns. It's just that the email list can be of 2,000 contacts. Okay, so Karthik has mentioned answered the question before. So, however, in one go, the segment list can contain up to 2,000 contacts. There's no monthly limit. So the limit is the 2,000 contacts in a segment, it looks like from here. What Karthik is saying. Thank you, Karthik. All right. Thanks. Our current accounting software allows to set credit limit for all of our clients. Credit limits. Currently, we do not have credit limits. So we do not reject them based upon it. But you can check out the reports and take a look. For example, if I go to my outstandings, you can see how much is there. And I'll feed back to the team because if we have the information, then we can ask them if it's possible, maybe put that in the pipeline. So for example, you can see your statement of accounts for your customer as well as your vendor here, and your age payable and age receivable, so you can see how much is outstanding. Okay. All right. So I hope you liked Tuesday training. I hope everything is going well, and I hope to see you back next Tuesday. I'll be hopefully showing you a lot more new features in the system and looking forward to answering your questions. But have a wonderful day. Take care. See ya. Bye.